As a member of the famous group Los Dones 7, I would like to start this presentation with a little verse from the true lyrics of ABC as sung by the Jackson 5. ADD is easy as 1, 2, squirrel. Now that I have your attention, hello, today is August 1st, 2016. My name is Jamie Dones, and at the moment I am presenting to you my final presentation for English Comp 2. What, pray tell, could this entail, you ask? Simply this: the process I went through to do and finish my research paper, and what I learned along the way. For my paper, I chose to research and write about the famous American poet Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was a very interesting man who lived a pretty different life from you and me. Though Hughes was not born in the time of slavery, he was only the 4th generation of African American descent to live the life of a free man since the ratification of the 13th Amendment. Thank you, Abe. Like most change, it takes time for everyone to get the picture, so unfortunately he did experience the residue of this evil act, which resulted in hate towards him just because of the color of his skin. Considered free but not of equality, Hughes wrote of experiences, not only of his own, but of his ancestors before him. Hughes experienced rejection and hurt from a young age and had a lot to say. Thankfully, Hughes found an outlet through poetry. Though Hughes had written poetry in high school for his student magazine called The Belfry Owl, it wasn't until he wrote his famous poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, that his lifelong career began. This poem, in a nutshell, was about the inequality of the life of an African American. Another one of his works that reiterated this very thing was his poem titled I Too. He expresses even though he was not denied a proper meal, he was asked to eat in the kitchen in order to stay out of the sight of company. What a crazy time to live in. I have to say, though this was no easy task, I have come to appreciate literature through this class. I learned how to closer analyze a written work. From a haiku to a short story, there lie deeper meaning than what is presented at first glance. Something as simple as rhythm to the verbiage chosen can make a huge difference in the underlying meaning of the message. Another thing I learned was how to do a more extensive research than I'm used to, and how to use the online library Valencia has to offer. I know this sounds funny, but because of this assignment, I got to check out an ebook for the first time. I know what you're thinking. Where have you been, Jamie? Well, somewhere between life and I'll get around to it. If you have a problem with that, in the words of Michael Jackson, beat it. And last but not least, I learned about citing, also known as giving credit, and how to do it properly. With that being said, I would like to take a moment to say, Purdue Owl, if you had a face, I would kiss it. Mwah! I never thought that there was so much to include in a proper citing of a quote or credit of any kind for that matter. I actually think it's pretty neat how taking that time to research your source and properly citing it makes it that much more accessible and credible for both you and the reader of your work. In conclusion, I would like to finish with the wise words of the Jackson 5.